to the moon. Girls, what y'all trying to do? 24 karat magic in the air. Head to toe so clear. Look out. Pop, pop, it's showtime. 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 Guess who's back again? Oh, they don't know. Downtown. Oh, they don't know. Downtown. I bet they know as soon as we walk in. Showed up. Wearing Cuban links. Yeah. Designer mix. Yeah. Inglewood's finest shoes. Whoop, whoop. Don't look too hard, might hurt yourself. Known to give the color red the blues. Woo! Kill 'em. I'm a dangerous man with some money in my pocket. Keep up. So many pretty girls around me and they're waking up the rocket. Keep up. Why you mad? Fix your face. Ain't my fault they all be jacking. Keep up. Players only. Come on, put your pinky rings up to the moon. Girls, what y'all trying to do? 24 karat magic in the air. Head to toe so clear. Look out. Second verse for the hustlers. Hustlers. Gangsters. Bad bitches and your ugly old friends. I cannot preach. I cannot preach. I gotta show them how I get it in. First, take your sip. Do your dip. Spend your money like money ain't shit. Ooh, ooh. We too fresh. Got to blame it on Jesus. Hashtag blessed. They ain't ready for me. I'm a dangerous man with some money in my pocket. Keep up. So many pretty girls around me and they're waking up the rocket. Keep up. Why you mad? Fix your face. Ain't my fault they all be jacking. Keep up. Players only. Come on, put your pinky rings up to the moon.
That's that Washington Road. 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 That's that Washington Road.
Me stressing me, paging my people, you're just non-stop. And it's not hot that you be leaving me messages every 10 minutes and then you stop by. When I first met you, you were cool, but it was game, you had me fooled. Cause 20 minutes after I gave you my number, you already had my milk box full. So what? You bought a pair of shoes. What now? I guess you think I owe you. Oh, you don't have to call as much as you do. I give them back to be through with you. And so what? My mama likes you. Like you. Now I guess you think I will too. Even if the folks said it like you do. I don't really care 'cause you're a bugaboo. You make me wanna get out the way. Hey. You see, I to cut the phone post, break my lease so I can move. You a bugaboo, a bugaboo. I wanna put your number on the call by. Hey, make my email stop. You a bugaboo. You bugging what you bugging, who you bugging me? I know.
It's Friday night and I feel alright. The party's here on the west side, so I reach for my 40 and I turn it up. Designated driver, take the keys to my truck. Hit the shop 'cause I'm faded. Honey's in the streets, say money, yo, we made it. It feels so good in my hood tonight. The summertime skirts and the guys ain't canine. All the gangbangers forgot about the drive-by. You gotta get your groove on before you go get paid. So tip up your cup and throw your hands up and let me hear the party say, I'm kinda buzzed and it's all because this is how we do it. South Central does it like nobody does. This is how we do it. To all my neighbors, you got much flavor. This is how we do it. Let's flip the track from the old school back. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. All hands are in the air and wave them from here to there. If you're an OG Mac or a wannabe player, you see the hood's been good to me ever since I was
school, you and me, G. Back in the days, we played practical jokes, so everybody smoked with they lumps and they yokes. So all through high school, girls by the dozens, saying we cousins, knowing that we wasn't. But like the old saying goes, time goes on and everybody grows. Grew apart, had to part, went our own way.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. We are here to celebrate a life of a great giant. If we all could just find a seat, please, so we could start the program and honor a great man. Amen.
Well, good afternoon. Come on, St. Louis, we can do better than that. Let's say good afternoon. And how about praise the Lord? For he is certainly worthy to be praised. We're excited to be in his presence and in this place today. And what I'd like to do is welcome us in a word of prayer this afternoon, if we could just prepare our hearts and our minds for just that. So if you'd be still in the presence of our Lord and just let's welcome his presence through a word of prayer today. Father God, we come in the name of Jesus, and we first say thank you. Thank you for enabling us to come here today to celebrate this great man that you have bestowed in our community. And Father God, we ask now that you would just arrest our hearts today, God, that we may remember the good things and the great things that you have done through Demetrious' life. We thank you for this great treasure and this giant that was in our community. And we ask, O great Redeemer, that you would bless his family, God, that you would comfort them in this hour, O great King. Father, we bless your wonderful name today. And as we look to the hills which cometh our help, for we know our help only comes from the Lord, we have come today to reflect, to remember, and to certainly rejoice. We thank you again for this time, and as we celebrate and look to you, we ask that you would bless our service as we memorialize our great brother. Be with us all. We ask this in the matchless, marvelous name of Jesus the Christ. And let the people of God say amen. Come on, we can do better than that. Let's do it for the big fella. Say amen. Amen. Come on again, amen. Amen. Isn't God good today? Why don't you take your left hand and your right hand and put it together and give God a hand praise. As we continue through our program today, it's my honor to welcome each and every one of you all here today, giving reverence to our Lord and Savior Jesus the Christ, to the Johnson family, to the members of clergy, our community, our civic leaders, ladies and gentlemen. We take this time to say thank you and welcome. It gives me great honor to have been asked by the family to welcome you to this memorial celebration in remembrance of my beloved big brother and friend, the big fella DJ. We thank God for him and all that he's done in our lives. And what an amazing husband, devoted father, beloved friend, community servant, and forever one who will be in our hearts today. DJ represented the principle of Ujuma, which means collective works, and the responsibility he made to make sure that the community came together to work together for the best interests of our community. DJ had a fascinating way of bringing community together along with businesses to maintain and to grow our community together. We're excited today to celebrate this giant in our community, and we're excited that the Lord has allowed us to be here today. Are you excited today, St. Louis? DJ was notorious for doing all that he could for others. And I'm excited today to say that you're looking at a product that he poured his life into. I'm ever grateful for my brother and what he's done in my life and what he's done into the life of many of the people in our community here today. He brings a smile to my face today when I look back and I reflect on all the conversations and the times that we spent together. And I'm ever reminded of his children, of what he's done in their lives as well. I'm ever grateful today that God has allowed us to come together, and through this program we're able to reflect and think of the good things and the great things that our brother has done. So with one more big a round of applause and hand praise, we're going to welcome our MCs to the table today. Excuse me, I'm off cue here. Our Coach Tate's going to come now. Let's give him a hand of praise.
Wow, the big fella. Welcome to the Demetrious Johnson celebration. Big time players. Big time players, DJ, big time players make big time plays, big time games. Did he make big time plays? He did. So, real quick, so, I just with the family and everybody, they told me about the situation, and, everybody was in awe, like, what's going on, what happened? And then they say it was heart complications. Well, immediately, I said, that's just a medical term. Here's why. We all know here Demetrious had the biggest heart that anybody can ever have, right? Wasn't nothing wrong with Demetrious' heart. I mean, he was loving, caring. He gave you the shirt off his back. He actually would put himself in a situation to make you better. And I just want to tell you guys, he's my big brother. I call him Unc. He's been in my life. He guided me in multiple directions. I want you guys to take this day to celebrate Demetrious Johnson and DJ, the big fella. Let's give him what he always gave us, all right? Talk to you guys soon. Be good.
Thank you, Coach Tate and Coach Travis Ford from St. Louis University. Thanks for being here. Those guys are about to get on a plane to travel, but they wanted to make it a point here to honor Demetrious Johnson. My name is Randy Carricker, and I love Demetrious Johnson. He was one of my favorite people in the world, as a matter of fact. And you're going to hear a lot of stories about DJ today. One that stands out to me, we used to do a show called Chalk Talk on Charter Communications. And I was also working at the radio station that carried the blues games. And DJ asked me one time, he said, hey, Randy, can you get me a couple blues tickets? I said, sure, no problem. So I did, gave him the tickets, and I assumed that he was going to take one of his daughters that he loves so much to a blues game and introduce them to hockey. And a couple of weeks later, he says, hey, Randy, can you get me a couple more blues tickets? And I said, yeah, no problem at all. Did your daughter like it? He said, oh, no, it's not for my daughters, because the pizza guy, the Domino's guy, loves the blues, and I get free pizza when I give him blues tickets. And he could make that phone call, whether it was for blues tickets or for turkeys for handing out at Thanksgiving time, or toys for kids that needed toys at Christmas time. He was just as good as it got. And so I am so honored, and I thank the family so much for having me here today to be a part of this celebration, and it is a celebration of the life of Demetrious Johnson. Joining me today is my good friend and the guy that actually introduced me to Demetrious, Frank Cusimano from Channel 5.
So over the next couple of hours, you're going to hear so many great stories about Demetrious' past. Now, I'm in the television business, and our job is to advance the story and to tell you what's happening now. And the way my sources have told me today what has happened is this, is that Demetrious got to the pearly gates, and St. Peter said, "Job well done." Put out his hand to shake his hand and said, "Come through." Demetrious knocked the hand away, says, "No, we're going to hug." And he says, "I'm not going in yet, St. Peter." And St. Peter was kind of confused. "What do you mean you're not going in yet?" "Well, I'm going to be gone from the earth, but I want to know who's going to be feeding thousands every Thanksgiving turkey dinners." And St. Peter said, "Okay, we got that covered. Come on in." No, I'm not going in. I give hundreds of Christmas presents to little kids who don't get Christmas presents normally. Who's going to take care of them? And St. Peter said, "Okay, we got it covered." He said, "Come on in." No. I provide scholarships at HBCU Combine Day for hundreds of kids in St. Louis who get discovered by HBCU schools. Who's going to cover that? St. Peter said, "We got it. Come on in." He goes, "No." He goes, I got basketball games, I got fashion shows, I got golf tournaments. I want it all covered." St. Peter said, "We got it. Come on in." He says, "No, I also got a bunch of daughters. I got a son. I got a lot of friends in St. Louis." And St. Peter said, "We'll take care of it all." And it's up to all of us here to make sure that St. Peter is correct in what he told Demetrious Johnson. We celebrate his life today, but the only way we should celebrate it is by making a promise, each and every one of us, to continue what he's done in St. Louis for the last 30 years. I've covered about 100 of his events over the years, and the four most used words that he's given to me when he has an event and he needs coverage is "need you, big fella." Well, he's going to have me for the rest of my life. I promise you that here and now. And one final thought is, when he started to do better at the hospital, Pat, his lovely bride, said, "Demetrious wants to talk to you." And he put him on the speakerphone. And the final words that I heard from my friend Demetrious was, "Love you, big fella." Thank you all. Mayor. We have many important people here today, including the mayor of St. Louis, and she is our next guest. Governor, actually, we're going to go governor first. I'm sorry. The governor's office is here. All right, hold on here. We are going to go with the mayor. Mayor, come on up here. Mayor Tashara Jones, an avid sports fan.
Good afternoon. First and foremost, I'd like to express my sincere condolences on behalf of the City of St. Louis to the family of Demetrious Johnson. You are in our thoughts and prayers. Frank took my thunder, and we all know what DJ meant to this community. From all of the good works that were previously described. Our city has lost a giant on the field and in our neighborhoods. He changed the lives of thousands of families, and his big heart and love for his community will never be forgotten. And he's been doing this work for several decades, and we know that Demetrious Johnson didn't care about who was in the mayor's office. He worked with all of us, whether we were black, white, green, purple, he didn't care. And we're gonna miss that. But on behalf, again, of the city of St. Louis, we extend our sincere condolences. And we hope that his memory lives up to serve others as he did. And now it is my honor and distinct pleasure to declare today as Demetrious Johnson Memorial Day in the city of St. Louis.
Hello, my name is Danielle Spradley, and I'm here on behalf of Congresswoman Cori Bush. She's very sorry she could not make it here today. Unfortunately, she had to be in Washington, D.C. She wanted to send her condolences to everyone in the community that Mr. Johnson has impacted. We know that he led with love, and he touched so many people in this community, starting with those that had the very least. So she sends her love to the family, condolences to the family, and everyone who has important, impactful life touch. Thank you so much.
This day is a celebration of life, and I had the pleasure of participating on some of the ventures that DJ invited us all to. I would like to give condolences to the family, his friends, on behalf of myself, State Senator Carla May, and the Missouri Senate and the Missouri Legislature. This is a difficult day, even though I know that DJ has taken his wings. He made an investment in our community. Even though I was elected, he invited me to participate in the turkey giveaway and the Christmas giveaway. And I told him, I want to do it, you know, but he taught us how to do the caring that we needed in our community, selflessly. Not only that we were elected, but we had to be on the ground taking care of the community as well. And so balancing that scale is what I learned from my conversations with DJ. So we are deeply saddened by the news of his passing. And we just want to present this resolution to the family. I don't want to read it all, but I'll just read some of it. Whereas through his passion, experience, and vision for community and betterment, Demetrious Johnson founded the Demetrious Johnson Charitable Foundation, which assists inner city youth by providing mentoring, vocational training, tutoring, financial assistance, and programs. Whereas a man of action in helping those in need, Demetrious Johnson found his calling in teaching the youth of St. Louis to find dignity in hard work and approach each day with unbridled optimism, and has left an undeniable mark on the community. And whereas the patriarch of a tightly knit family, Demetrious Johnson was blessed beyond measure to share his life with his wife, Pat, beautiful daughters, Ashley, Taylor, and Alexandria, and has left this world, and his son, and has left this world a better place through his devotion to his faith and family. So now, therefore, be it resolved that the Missouri Senate proudly pay tribute to Demetrious Johnson for his dedication to the citizens of St. Louis and assured his beloved family and precious children that his memory will forever live on in the city and the state. And I just want to end with this. He made an investment, and now we have the responsibility to continue that investment in the community. Whether we show up financially or show up in person, he has paved the road for us to make that investment. Just like John the Baptist paved the road for Jesus Christ, Demetrious Johnson has done that for us. And I hope you will join me in making that continued investment in the community. Thank you.
Demetrious did an unbelievable job of mentoring young football players, past and present, and he always tried to get them to the University of Missouri. We see Coach Drink out there right now, and we have two of his all-time favorites. Oh my God, Rolandus Woodland, what a wide receiver he was, Will Franklin, and the great Luther Burden III. Gentlemen, one at a time.
How you guys doing? A father figure, defined as a person, often of particular power or influence, who serves as an emotional substitute for a father. There was DJ. From the first time I met DJ, he believed in me. DJ stepped up to the plate. He became a role model for me, as he was for many others. He never hesitated to do anything for anybody, not once. DJ always expressed the importance of education, life after sports, and the importance of giving back to the community. The first time I met DJ, I was a senior in high school at Rockwood Summit. DJ was a commentator for our first game of the season against West Grove. He walked up to me, smiling, wearing a fancy suit and glasses. I said, "I'm a little nervous, Coach." Without even knowing me, he hugged me and told me, "Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games." I earned my scholarship to Mizzou that night. Fast forward to a few weeks ago, while working the night shift, DJ called me at 2 a.m. He said, "Ro, I'm truly thankful that God put you in my life." I said, "DJ, I'm the thankful one. Thank you for leading the way. Thank you for being a role model and a father figure to not only me, but to all of our youth. For myself, Will Franklin, and Luther Burden, you have showed us the way." I'm gonna close with this. If you have the qualities that DJ had and potential to be a role model in someone's life, don't take it for granted. Teach them the right way. Watch out for them and never let them go. This is how we can honor and continue DJ's legacy, through mentoring and supporting our youth. Because a wise man once said, "We got it from here, big fella." Thank you.
To know a person's character, consider his friends. And I am truly in awe of the turnout of folks that have came out here in honor of DJ. On behalf of myself and the St. Louis County Prosecuting Attorney's Office, we want to extend our most heartfelt condolences to DJ's family and loved ones. I also want to acknowledge Jamie Doby and Adrian Bracey. If you could all give them a round of applause for organizing this. and during the holidays. Jamie is so humble and told me that I could not acknowledge them, but I'm the prosecutor, so what you gonna do to me, Jamie? But seriously, we appreciate you and the work that you put in organizing this. It was truly a labor of love. And speaking of a labor of love, DJ's life was just that, a labor of love, laboring for our most vulnerable, laboring for anyone in need, laboring for this community that he loved literally until his final days. So I'll close by saying, one thing my grandmother used to tell me, may she rest in peace, which has become one of my mantras, is a job feeds your family, but service feeds your soul. So I'll leave you all by saying that when DJ entered the pearly gates, as Frank pointed out, his soul was very well fed. Rest in peace, big fella.
Hello, everybody. My name is Kim Gardner, Circuit Attorney for the City of St. Louis. And I'm here to extend my condolences to the family, to the friends, and people in the community from the Circuit Attorney's Office of the City of St. Louis. I am here to honor my friend and legend, not only in the sports world, but in the lives and hearts of so many. DJ would bring together so many people from all walks of life, and I will be amazed that he could bring people who actually hated each other in the same room. But the one thing that they had in common was the love and respect for DJ. DJ was committed to so much bigger. He was committed to speaking out for the world to hear about the injustices that occur all too often in communities of color. However, DJ never forgetting who he was or where he came from. DJ never forgot the community and gave real voice to the real issues that plague the city of St. Louis and the St. Louis region. I'm gonna miss the random phone calls from DJ saying, Kim, what's up, girl? What's going on? What's best you in today? You always say, I got a friend telling me about a situation you in. He said, I know it's BS. And I said, yeah, DJ, it's BS. But DJ also held me accountable and called me out on my BS. And many people know he was not one to mince his words, was he? DJ was always himself and never let his own celebrity status even stand in the way of giving back to others. Even his last text to me, he asked me to help him provide names to deserving families that he can give toys for Christmas. I texted him back telling him that I was in court and that I was trying to free an innocent man after 27 years of being in prison. And he replied, I'm very proud of you. That's why I love you, girl. You the real deal. But in reality, is DJ and his legacy is the real deal. The love he had for his family is the real deal. DJ is the real deal for supporting families without taking away their dignity. DJ is the real deal for inspiring children and people regardless of hope and giving them hope and opportunities and making sure they're able to become better and to thrive and survive. DJ is the real deal to speaking truth to power and is the real deal for never forgetting to give back and do his part in life. I'm gonna miss you, big brother, my supporter, and yes, even my defender. Even when he had many people in his ear saying, drop her. St. Louis, we truly lost a real one. And I'm asking you, please honor him and his family by keeping the Demetrious Johnson Foundation going bigger and better than ever. And we gotta do that. I just want to say, sleep well, my friend. I'm going to miss you and your crazy phone calls and hearing your voice on the radio. May you have everlasting peace. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I really want to thank the family for inviting me for this opportunity to share in this celebration with you all. My name is Shamim Clark Hubbard, and I humbly serve as Alderwoman in the city of St. Louis. But I also counted more than just his alder lady too, right? Like I like to say, a friend, a big brother. My little sister is what he used to always say. Mr. May, when we were discussing, how beautiful and how amazing it was in here today, and the spirit and the amazing people that were in the room, he talked about DJ was the greatest connector and encourager, right? I think he was there for all of us. As the elected official, I had a lot of duties that I served with him and fighting for him. If you know him, you can look back on committee hearings. Sometimes we really had to literally fight. And one of the things, he was never mad at me, similar to Circuit Attorney Gordon. He encouraged me all the time when I needed it the most. But he was mad at me one time, y'all. He was mad at me for honoring him. What person gets mad at you for honoring him, right? We surprised him with a 30-year resolution for the Demetrious Johnson Foundation. And when I tell you, Jamie can attest to it, he was mad. He was really mad at me. I would like to take some time now to acknowledge all of the elected officials in the room, past and present. If you all can stand and show the family how he stood up for us and how we're here to stand here for him today. Absolutely. Absolutely. Echoing what some of my colleagues have said, he was unapologetically and uncompromised in his service, right? And that's one of the things I admired about him the most. Especially, he was an easy yes. He was easy to fight for because, when you was fighting for him, you was fighting for what's right. Not for something for somebody, but for greater good, for full communities, right? And the way that he put dignity back and encouragement and integrity into that service, going to the doors with his Thanksgiving turkey giveaways and all that, it just made the difference. He always showed up for us. Corey spoke about his heart. Corey Tate spoke about his heart, and that was true. I think he had the biggest heart. But if you wasn't in that heart, you knew it, right? Did you know it? You was in it or you wasn't in it. Again, I want to thank the family for sharing him with us for so long. If you could see the love and the community that's behind you, you should know and feel the spirit in this room and know that we are absolutely going to carry on the legacy, the responsibility that Senator May talked about, and carry on what he would want us to do to keep the Demetrious Johnson Foundation alive. We will be in continual prayer for you all. I know that everyone in this room and in this space is more than just a phone call away for you all. We want you to stay anchored. I told you that. And pray we want peace to be still. Thank you.
Thank you, Shamim. There's a term in sports, the glue guy, and outside of the sports realm, as we can see by this crowd today, DJ was a glue guy. When he had a tendency, I don't know if you're aware of this, but at least in my world, we would be getting ready for a game, 7 o'clock game. It'd be 6:50, no DJ. 6:55, no DJ. 6:58, no DJ. But at 7 o'clock, he'd walk through that door, he'd burst through that door, and game time was on time. And the cool thing is we had a pretty big crew, 20 people, and DJ was the guy that everybody couldn't wait to see. He was the quintessential glue guy because he made everybody feel great about themselves. He made them feel like they were exceptionally important, whether it was the guy handing us cards in the booth or whether it was the play-by-play guy. He made us all feel great. And that's what Shamim talked about, going up to doors and making people feel important, and don't humiliate people. Make them feel like they're the most important person that we're dealing with. And he did that with all of us, didn't he? He just had that unique ability to make everybody feel great about themselves. And one thing I said pretty much every year, it was kind of my stock line at the turkey giveaway, was we don't have enough Demetrious Johnsons. If every city in America had a Demetrious Johnson, our world would be a hell of a lot better off. And as has been mentioned here a couple of times, we do need to crowdsource now. We do need to keep this tradition going, and there's not one guy that's going to be picking up the phone calling 5 or 6 or 7 or 20 people. We're going to have to work together to accomplish the things that this one gentleman accomplished for 30 years. He was amazing. Coming up next, one of DJ's best friends and a gentleman who's become one of my best friends. He's the president of the Painting and Decorating Foundation. He did so much with the foundation, and he and Demetrious were extraordinarily tight. Dan Weinstroer, please make your way up to the podium.
This could be tough. First of all, I want to offer my sympathy to the Johnson family, his daughters, his son. What a wonderful man you've shared with us. I remember one time I was at an event, and a young man came up to Demetrious, and he introduced his girlfriend to Demetrious. He says, "This is Mr. Johnson, the legend." And so after that, I started calling DJ the legend when I introduced him. He said, "You're a fool. Why are you saying that about me?" But you know what? What is a legend? It's a person that everyone admires, and everyone did admire DJ. Some of the best times we had together were out at my farm. He'd come out there, he'd bring his son, Jalen, with him, and they'd go fishing. Now, mind you, Demetrious nor Jalen would put a worm on a hook, nor would they take a fish off the hook. But you know what was so beautiful about it? It became a competition between DJ and Jalen. Who caught the most fish? I caught one, Dad. I caught another one. Jalen caught a 12-inch smallmouth bass, and he was the proudest kid in the world. And you know what? There was a real proud father there, too. But the most beautiful thing was DJ getting the kayak and he's, "Hey, that's a good workout," and everything else. And then he'd sit down in a chair in the stream, and he'd fall asleep. And you know why he fell asleep? Because his phone didn't work down there. Can you imagine that? His phone didn't work. At his golf tournament this year, I gave DJ a belt. It was gold on the outside to represent his fine Missouri Tigers team. But on the inside, it had this inscription. No one could see it. The only person that knew it was there was DJ. But what it said was, "Let me call you right back." If you know DJ, you know that's what he said. Now, I will tell you this. DJ was in my office that Friday morning before he had his attack. And DJ was very reflective that morning. And he was there for a little over an hour, which was unusual because he was always in a hurry. But that morning, he was not in a hurry. He was sitting there in that chair in his hoodie. I see it every day. He said, "Dan, I don't know why. Dan, I don't know why I do this, man. It's getting harder every year." And I said to him, "DJ, you know why you do it. Because it's the right thing to do." He said, "You know what? You're right. You're right." And I know we have to keep this mission alive because, golly, he was the best. Thank you. Good morning. My name is Steve Gettiker. And Pat, I thank you for inviting me here to speak about my friend DJ. Even though we were friends, anybody that know both of us, and very few of us did, we were as polar opposite as you could possibly be. There was nothing about either one of us. If you'd say we had a friendship, it would be very hard for anyone to comprehend, because that's how different we are and were. I first met DJ on a show by Randy called Chalk Talk, and they'd have sports personalities, and then sometimes they got desperate, they just get somebody to fill in, and that's what they had me do, fill in. And they'd go over various sports topics, and then when you'd finish a topic, you would write on the chalkboard 3 words about this or 2 words about this. One of them was the Rams. This was around in 2001, I would guess. And I loved Kurt Warner. And DJ thought I was completely out of touch. He said, Mark Bulger's the guy, Kurt Warner's washed up, he's done, he'll never make it. It's time to move on. So that was the first one. And every topic, it was like this guy came at me because he just disagreed with everything I say. Then we talked about Mizzou basketball. And when we got to those final words, were write 2 words about Mizzou basketball. And my 2 words were Starman Norman. And I said, we need to get rid of Quinn Snyder. Starman Norman's the guy, he's the answer. And if you know DJ, Starman Norman was not one of his favorites. So anyway, that was the way the show went. And I thought, wow, this guy's really, he's really wild. So we got to the very last topic, and Randy said, we want 3 words on the St. Louis sports scene for the coming years. What would your 3 words be? So everybody said, like Randy said, I think the Cardinals are going to do well, whatever it was. When they got to DJ, he was the last one before me, he said, out of touch. And then he says, and Randy says, what? He goes, Steve Gettiker, he's out of touch. We said, Randy, DJ, that has nothing to do with the question. He goes, I don't care, that's my answer, out of touch. So obviously he wasn't shy. Over the next 20 years, we talked frequently. He would call many times. If you talk to him during the day, as you know, it's always going to call you right back because the phone calls kept coming. But he'd call me at 11:15 at night, and my wife would say, now who is that? I said, it's DJ. He says, oh no, go down the basement because you're not going to stay up here arguing with that guy for the next 2 hours. So that's what I would do. I'd go downstairs, and we would argue, and he loved to argue. And he would get so mad at me. And then when he would get so mad, he finally gets to the point, he says, Steve Gettiker, you know what you are? A right-wing redneck. But I didn't get mad at him. I would just laugh because that was the relationship that we had. It was just a wonderful, unbelievable relationship, and I was very blessed to get to know him. But in spite of all of our arguments, we had some of the things. I mean, he came to my daughter's wedding, him and Pat, and blessed me with that. One of the funniest things is he asked me to co-host the St. Louis Hip Hop Awards. You don't know me, but hip hop, I didn't know one of the groups, I didn't know one of the songs, and I never understood one word they were saying when they were singing. Not one. I thought, why not? I have no idea. But then we'd have the envelope, and of course DJ made fun of me all night long, but it was hilarious. One of the honors, he asked me to coach his daughter Alex's volleyball team, which I did. And if you know DJ, even though he didn't know a thing about volleyball, he had plenty of advice. I said, DJ, you may know football, but you don't have a clue about volleyball, as in most other topics. But anyway, he never hesitated to tell me what I was doing wrong as a volleyball coach. But anyway, that's how our relationship went, and it was wonderful. Thinking about today, and what really matters to DJ today is not all the wonderful things that are said about him, but it's what our Creator said to him on Judgment Day. And he told us what he was going to say. He told us, when you were hungry, you fed me. When I was thirsty,
You gave me drink. When I was naked, you clothed me. Welcome. And DJ, and if you'd say, in many ways, that was Mother Teresa's favorite quote, and in many ways, DJ and Mother Teresa had much more similarities than they had dissimilarities. You wouldn't say Mother Teresa and DJ are similar in any ways, but in that way, they were. What's really, really important, and I think so, we can take solace in the fact that DJ did what Jesus told us we had to do to get to heaven. And he did it as well as anybody. I'll miss many things about DJ. One of the things that I've already missed on Christmas Day and New Year's Day is that every holiday, whether it was 4th of July, Memorial Day, he would send me a text. And Thanksgiving was the last holiday text that I got from him. And this was the text. He said, "Steve, happy Thanksgiving. I hope you and your family have a blessed and enjoyable day. I love you, big dog. I love you too, DJ."
So we all know Demetrious was a heck of a football player, and we have some of his former teammates here today. And they're going to come up to the podium. I think Kevin Potter is going to be the spokesman for that group. Demetrious had a great career at McKinley High School. He was an all Big 8 performer at the University of Missouri. And then he had a 5-year NFL career where he played in 60 games. He had interceptions. He was the NFC Defensive Player of the Week. But he was a part of a real special backfield at the University of Missouri where all 4 of the players ended up playing in the National Football League. And they're all, come on up here right now. Men, come on up. These are DJ's former teammates. In high school, college, and maybe the NFL too. And Kevin Potter will be the spokesperson.
All right, you boys in shape? Y'all ready to play? Yeah. We got a coach over there. We got some players over here. Still can play. I guarantee you, out of all the guys here, how many guys we got here? About 20, 22? Nobody would have believed that they would see this in Demetrious Johnson. I guarantee you. I mean, isn't this awesome, guys? Would you have thought that? So I'm Kevin Potter, and we have an awesome amount of guys here that are part of Demetrious Johnson's life, and I'm sure they've had some impact on him. I recruited Demetrious, and Demetrious, like most of these guys back here, was highly recruited. A lot of people wanted him, so we had schools like the University of Oklahoma, Nebraska, Oklahoma State, Purdue, Illinois. They were after Demetrious. They wanted Demetrious to come. But I had a relationship with Demetrious in high school. So I sold Demetrious on coming to the University of Missouri, and I told him, you come to Mizzou, we will be just like Johnny Poe and Eric Wright. And for those who don't know Johnny Poe and Eric Wright, they're not here today, but they will be here tomorrow. They're on their way? Yeah. They were awesome ball players. And the thing about it, Demetrious had problems getting on the field. So he didn't start, and that was an issue. And, you know, we had to work with Demetrious on that situation, but that was a real issue. One thing that we had to do is I had kind of coach him up, but we worked that out. And Demetrious really didn't get an opportunity. He worked his butt off at Mizzou. Mizzou didn't give him an opportunity. If I remember, he might have been third or fourth on the depth chart, right? At left corner because Johnny Poe was there, and he had to wait for a while. The thing that I remember mostly about Demetrious is, you know, he wanted, like most of these guys back here, he wanted to be awesome. He wanted to play. He wanted to get publicity. He wanted to make some plays, make things happen. It was not his time, though. So Demetrious kind of had, he always wanted publicity. He always wanted recognition. And the funny thing about it, we used to come home after a bowl game, and we'd also go to places like the basketball tournament. We'd go to a dance, a party, or something like that. Demetrious always wanted to wear his jersey. DJ always wanted to wear his jersey. He wanted people to know him. Demetrious had vision. You know, he was working on some things, I guarantee you. And none of these guys, if they tell you they like DJ, they're lying, okay? They did not like DJ. One thing about it, everybody respected him. Demetrious was a different animal. He was a different animal. Is that right, Pat? I'm telling like it is. He was a different animal. Him and I were boys, but I couldn't stand him for about 2 or 3 days. I had to rest him up and come back, then I come and work with him. But, you know, it was just really crazy. But I think Demetrious and some of the people back here really don't know DJ. DJ really had compassion. He really had heart for people. Even though he was that nasty dude that we liked and some didn't like. Probably Kurt Thomas, probably the only one. Me and Kurt, Jeff, who else? Ray. Where you at? That's the secondary. That's all. Nobody. Defensive tackle didn't like him. Offensive player definitely didn't like him because he's hitting them. So Demetrious doing everything he can to work, get on the ball field. But eventually he got on the ball field and he made things happen. But I think he's kind of like the second generation of community service, right? Because his mama was engaged in community service. This is nothing new to Demetrious. This is nothing new to Demetrious. And heck, you know, with Demetrious in heaven with his mother, after all those negotiations that he had gotten, maybe we have a third generation. One of his daughters will be on the board. So I don't know. It's going to be very difficult to replace Demetrious. That's going to be a real challenge. And I don't know if we have anything. We have resources here. So we got some people over here that's looking for some things. Who's that? Taylor. Who? Taylor? Taylor, you on deck? You on the depth chart? Who behind you? Okay, those guys? Okay, so that's going to be taken care of, right, Pat? Okay, you got some boys back here need some jobs now, so make sure you take care of them. So, but anyway, this is awesome. I can't believe it. And I assure you, we might have thought Wallace Snowden would have had a funeral like this, but not Demetrious Johnson. I mean, we got dignitarians here. This is beautiful. This is awesome. This is really awesome. And I'm really happy for Demetrious. And I think we can make sure that we're going to figure out what type of commitment we're going to do for the foundation. We're going to talk about that, and we'll get back with Pat. Okay? All right. Thank you. Okay. We come back on turkey giveaway. We'll work it out. All right.
Good afternoon. My name is Maurice Scott, and first of all, I want to thank Pat and the family for giving me the time to speak today on behalf of my friend. Demetrious is what I would call a pillar of hope, a pillar of life. Like many of the previous speakers have talked about, he's helped and opened the doors for so many people. And for me personally, I've always had people to open doors up for me, like my friend behind me, Earl Austin Jr., the sports editor of the St. Louis American, who brought me in and paved the way for me to write in American for many years. The late, great Onion Horton, who got me involved in radio. Mike Jones, for the Rams, who allowed me to work in his foundation when he was playing with the Rams. A good friend named Jim Collins, that's Demetrious' best friend. And of course, my friend, Demetrious Johnson. Demetrious was a guy that, I was kind of controversial as well. And he's about loyalty. He would always, if I called him and I had a problem, Demetrious say, "What's their phone number?" And he would not hesitate. "Mo, I don't know what's going on. Listen, I don't know what's going on with you and Maurice. But if you got a problem with Maurice, you got a problem with me." That was Demetrious, and I love him for that. So with that said, I can go on and on, but he was a brother to me, and I'm going to miss him dearly. And the one thing that I'm going to miss, every Sunday morning, he would tell the audience, "I take nothing for granted. Thank you for listening in." So I would like to say it one more time. For my main man and my best friend, Jim Collins. For my main man, Big Mike. For my man, Mo Scott. I take nothing for granted. Thank you for listening. God bless you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Earl Austin Jr., sports editor of the St. Louis American, and Maurice couldn't have said it any better. DJ was like our big brother. We're only a few years apart in age, but he was like a mentor and a big brother to me. Many times on the radio or he was on TV, if I had a nickel for every time, I would say, "Man, I wish I could say what DJ just said today." I would be a very, very rich man right now, because he would say the things that was on everybody's mind. He was not scared to say those things. He was a tremendous friend. Just a couple of things. I had the honor to work with him. He put together the Demetrious Johnson Charitable Foundation High School All-Star Game, and DJ would bring these all-star basketball players from all over the country and play against a team from St. Louis. In St. Louis, we have good basketball talent here, but DJ would bring future pros here. And I was like, "DJ, what are you doing? We're just a small city. You got the whole country to choose from. We're going to get killed. What's going on?" And he said, "Don't worry about it, big dog. I got this." So he would tell me, "Earl, I hope your team's ready. I hope you're sick," because I'm in charge of putting together the St. Louis team. "I hope you guys are ready, because I'm bringing some big dogs here." So unbeknownst to me, we did this for over a decade. At the practice, final practice, or before the game, DJ would go in the locker room and talk to the local team of St. Louis kids. And of course, DJ is an inspirational figure. And after talking to that team, every year, it would be a close game. The kids from St. Louis would play their hearts out, and we actually won a few of those games, huge upsets. Crowd would get behind, and that was all DJ. He had inspired those kids because of his pride in his city and his pride in young people. And just in a couple of minutes, he was able to implement that into those kids, and they go out and play and represent their city. And they knew they were representing DJ, the man whose name was on this event, and they go out and play a tremendous game. And it was for charity and his foundation, and it was always a tremendous event. And I was always saying, "God, DJ, you're amazing how you were able to reach those kids like that." And he would just shrug it off, But we did that for about 10 years. Two more things. I do radio for St. Louis University. This is where I work, right here at the Chaifetz Arena. And for 30 years, we've had this running thing, because obviously DJ's a Mizzou Tiger, and we go back and forth about who would win. And fortunately, those conversations with the language, I won't be able to convey to you in this special event here, so I'll leave that at that. Finally, what really speaks to how amazing Demetrious Johnson was is the fact that he was being a star athlete, as Frank said, at McKinley High School, at the University of Missouri, and playing at the highest level in the National Football League. That should be enough for a lot of people. That's tremendous there. The fact that we were almost an hour into this service and those things were mentioned for the first time, that leads you to know that that was just a tiny part of his legacy. The fact that he was a star athlete from this city, that somebody like that is celebrated anyway, but that was just a small part of what the Demetrious Johnson story. What was spoken to about DJ for the previous hour, that just speaks not only of legend, but iconic in this city. And as Frank has talked about, everybody in here, we're the ones that are gonna have to become the stewards of this city, because DJ, you left some big shoes to follow. We're gonna miss you, we love you, but we appreciate everything you've done for all of us here in St. Louis. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. I'm Mike Claiborne. I've known DJ for a long time, but first of all, I want to thank the family for sharing DJ with us for all these years. You didn't know your family was this big, did you? Because if you turn around, DJ had a part of everybody. And the phone calls, and Dan was right. DJ would always say, let me call you back. So one day I called DJ, big dog. I said, yeah, man, you just called? Let me call you right back. And I hung up. So now he's like, he called me back. He said, are you messing with me? I said, yes, I am. And you know, he had that laugh that was so infectious. But he was a guy that he didn't have a lot to say, but when he said it, you were heard. He was heard. He was just an incredible person with such a big heart for so many different reasons. Because he felt like he wanted to give somebody a better chance and a better life, a better way of life than he had growing up. And I think he did a pretty good job at it. Over 30 years of taking care of people and passing it on. Because he didn't want anything in return. He didn't want your money. He didn't want a favor. He would just want you to pass it on. Take care of somebody else. That's what he was all about. And while people would try and influence DJ, couldn't be bought, couldn't be influenced, he was going to do it his way, and you could only say no to him once because he'd never come back to you after that. You all know how DJ was, and you weren't a friend until you had a really knockdown, drag down argument with him. You go back and forth, and you know, blood pressure's getting high in the whole 9 yards, and the next day the phone would ring, big dog, what you doing? He'd always, either big dog, big fella, young lady. He had them all. He had the DJ-isms unlike anybody we knew. But the thing was, while we're in this big arena, his heart was bigger than this arena. His footprint in our community is bigger than this arena. His mission is bigger than this arena. And yeah, he was Mr. PHL. He was a Missouri Tiger, black and gold through. But he was a man. He was a father. He was a husband. He was a person who wanted to do something better for somebody else. But there's nothing more fun than to have him call you when there's a game going on. Man, why are they playing this guy? You get that phone call? Why did they run that play? I mean, he always wanted his teams to do well, but if something didn't go right, he would not stop. He would just be relentless about it, to the point where he said, I got to call somebody on Sunday. Eli, did you ever get one of those calls from DJ? Eli Drinkwitz, who's doing a great job at Mizzou, he and DJ have developed a great relationship. But he was the kind of person that he had passion. He had passion about everything. You want to wash a car? DJ was the hardest working car washer you'd know. You want to raise some money for a charity? DJ's right there. He did everything at a high level. And for us, as we think about what he's meant to us, because we wouldn't be here for him if it wasn't for him, let's think about how we can all find a way to put our foot in this huge footprint that he's left for us. Because if not for him, a lot of things in this city wouldn't be working the way they do. Because he stepped out there before anybody else even thought about it. And you knew where you stood with him. If he liked you, he's as loyal as it was. If he didn't like you, then you stood out like a sore thumb. Fortunately, he had more people that liked him, and he liked. And that's what made him such a special person. So I know he's looking down at me now. It's like, big dog, it's time to shut up. So I'm going to do that. God love you, DJ. Love you, big dog. Here for you forever. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Michael, and thank you, Mo, and thank you, Earl Austin. It's no surprise to anybody here that the signage is black and gold, right? Because DJ had a 40-year love affair with the University of Missouri. On December 10th of 2019, I went to Columbia for the introductory press conference for Eli Drinkwitz. And I was driving back from Columbia, and I called DJ, and I said, "You're going to love this guy." Because Eli and DJ, they were kind of, I guess the term would be compadres in terms of the way that they approach life in football. They do the right thing for people. And it was no surprise to see the athletic director at the University of Missouri, Desiree Reed-Francois, at DJ's turkey giveaway this past November. And DJ was so excited about where the basketball program was headed under Dennis Gates. And by the way, DJ did come to love Eli and always loved that program. And those three representatives are here today: Eli Drinkwitz, Desiree Reed-Francois, and Dennis Gates. Let's welcome them up to the podium.
The first time I met DJ was at the Christmas giveaway in 2019, and I was at the table with the president of the university and the athletics director, and we were fixing it. Jim Collins was there, Mike was there, and when he called us all rednecks from Columbia, I got up and went to get breakfast. I said, this might be a little much for me right now. But JC, true story or not? But DJ loved Mizzou, and DJ, the stories I'm hearing, I'm very humbled by the stories because I have those same interactions. He had the ability to make us all feel so special, warmed, and loved. When I think about my friend, I think about the verse in Micah: do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly before your Lord. And that was DJ. When I first asked him, DJ, when did you start this foundation? He said, Coach, I started it with my mom when I would come back from college. And then when I went pro, we just kept it going. And DJ loved justice. DJ would step into the middle of a fight for justice. It wasn't about who was right, it was about what was right. And I received many phone calls about what's right. And he loved mercy. He loved giving, whether it was gas giveaways, grocery store giveaways, toy giveaways, turkey giveaways. He loved being merciful. And DJ was extremely humble about all that he did. And we're going to miss our friend. And that's what he was to me. He was a friend. So, big brother, we love you, buddy.
Good afternoon. I am Dr. LaTanya Collins Smith, and I have the distinct honor of serving as the 21st president of Harris Stowe State University. Thank you. On behalf of the Board of Regents, the Office of the President, our faculty, staff, and students, and the alumni of Harris Stowe State University, my dear soror Pat, we bow in humble submission with you and the family and offer our condolences. We bow in humble submission to the will of God, who is too just to make an error and too wise to make a mistake. We, the Harris Stowe State University family, offer our deepest sympathy and condolences to the entire Johnson family in the passing of the giant, the big fella, my big brother and dear friend. We too were saddened by this news. As Frank Cusimano already mentioned, DJ was a huge supporter of HBCUs, which was evident through his many years of support and hosting the HBCU Combine here in our city. Although we didn't have and we don't have a football team, he treated us no different. He embraced our athletics department, and it didn't change the love and support and generosity he showed for his hometown HBCU. DJ personally believed in the mission of the HBCU. As a first-generation college student, he believed in the quality, affordable, accessible education for the under-resourced and the underprepared. And he realized the power of a college education, which was evident through his servant leadership and a life of service. And just by everybody that's gathered in this room, it's evident that he showed love. DJ truly believed, to whom much is given, much is required. Harris Stowe was a staple feature on the Demetrious Johnson morning show. And as I've said these last couple of weeks, Sunday mornings will never be the same for me. He was the only person I know that can wake me up at 6 a.m. and just say, "This is Demetrious Johnson morning show, please hold." Okay, gonna hold. And then the next thing he would say, "Doc, tell us what's going on at Harris Stowe." I'm like, "Demetrious, I haven't even washed my face yet," but okay. Demetrious, he was a servant leader, one who was able to get others actively involved. No was not a complete sentence to DJ. That's why we at Harris Stowe accepted the challenge as a strong supporter of the golf tournaments, of the free gas giveaways, and we offered volunteers for many of our students, and this year was the largest. We had over 100 students to come and volunteer through the Thanksgiving basket giveaway. And even with that, he still found a way to call and say, "Doc, I just want to thank you." He included us. The Harris Stowe family is truly grateful for all of his support, and he will be sorely missed. I am personally grateful for his advocacy, his authentic conversations and advice, friendship, and grateful to call him my big brother. In honor of DJ's commitment to excellence in service and support of Harris Stowe State University, this semester we will award a graduating senior the Demetrious Johnson Excellence in Community Service Award to the student with the most service hours. Johnson family, thank you for sharing your giant with me, with us, and so many. You will continue to be in our thoughts and our prayers, and know that you can depend on the Harris Stowe State University family to help keep DJ's legacy alive. And I'll end by saying, big fella, job well done, thy good and faithful servant.
Good afternoon. To the Johnson family, my condolences. To everybody in this room, my condolences to you too, because I think all of us are connected to DJ and we're all part of his extended family. I'm Tim Weiss. I'm DJ's redneck friend, Steve. You took my thunder, but I thought I was the only redneck friend he had. DJ and I came from very different backgrounds. I grew up in rural St. Charles County. I still live out there. We all know DJ's story. So we always had, our lives shaped our view of the world. And as we all know, DJ liked to talk a lot, and he was very good at it. But he was even a better listener and a learner. DJ and I had many conversations on topics across the board, very in-depth conversations. DJ's term was, we're going to have some real talk, Tim. In these conversations, DJ opened my eyes to issues that I had no clue about. Once again, our life experiences lead our thought process. I think I probably opened DJ's eyes to a few issues as well. And I think we grew and learned and loved together. True friends can have open conversations about differing opinions, but they will respectfully listen to each other, learn from each other, and grow together as human beings, and more importantly, as great friends. When DJ'd call or text me, he always closed with, "I love you, big dog." Well, I'd kind of sheepishly, kind of awkwardly respond with, "Love you too, man." I wasn't used to be so emotionally involved with my friends. But it didn't take long for me to start to feel comfortable with saying, "I love you, man," to DJ. He was my brother. It's too bad we wait until someone's eulogy to tell them how we feel about them. DJ taught me not to wait, and because of him, I do tell my friends that I love them. DJ, I'm gonna miss you desperately. I'll miss your smile. I'll miss our in-depth conversations, our shared love of sports, and even your tirades like a rabid Wolverine. But I can say I am a much better human being by having you in my life. DJ, I love you, man.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rochelle Foxworth, and I, along with Sonny, JC, Solo, Kevy, and I think I got everybody, are speaking on behalf of the foundation. I've been blessed and honored to work with Demetrious for the past 30 years. Although I've worked on numerous projects and programs with him, he bestowed onto me the Thanksgiving turkey and basket giveaway. And again, I've been working with him on that project for the past 29 years. We started off with 25 families that we served, and this past year we were blessed to serve more than 3,000 families. As many of you are aware, the coordination of this event can be pretty tricky. The logistics can be pretty interesting because, as you know, we go door to door. That was something that Demetrious said when he actually started this endeavor, that he watched his mother for years stand in line over at 12th and Park as they lived in the Doris Webby housing project. and that if he ever had the opportunity, he would not have anyone to stand in line. So of the 3,000 families that we serve, and some of you may not be aware, we go out as far as Hayti, Missouri. So it is within this area, but again, we actually can say that we serve the Missouri area. Seven years ago, I called Demetrious and I told him I was actually moving to the DC area and that I needed for him to appoint someone to take over this event, coordinating this event. And, you know, I needed to know who they were so that I could train them and things like that. And he hung up the phone on me. And he wouldn't answer the phone for a whole week. And the only way he would talk to me is that if I agreed that we came to a compromise, that I would coordinate the event from DC and I would fly in and actually execute the event. And so for the past 7 years, that's what I've been doing. When I was on the plane yesterday, and I know Jamie said that I feel like I kind of kept Demetrious on target with time and things like that, and that's Jamie today. But as I was flying yesterday and I was thinking about what I would say today, I thought about all of the programs that, I'm sorry, I have something in my eye, but I thought about all of the programs that Demetrious created, and I'm gonna go through the list really quickly because I was actually surprised. The annual Christmas party for 1,000 children, Thanksgiving turkey and baskets to families in the St. Louis and surrounding area, summer camps for youth, Halloween parties, Easter egg hunt. He hosted HBCU Combine. He hosted football camps, basketball camps, cheerleading camps, sponsored basketball tournaments, GED programs, painters programs, provided transportation for special needs teenagers to attend their prom. He had a chess club, talent events, after-school events, hosted back-to-school events, clothing drives, food drives. He was a radio host in St. Louis and Detroit. He assisted families with funeral arrangements. He was a sports, radio, and television host. He was a civil rights activist, provided resources for victims. And while doing all of that, he was also a father. He was a spouse. He was a son, he was a brother, and to many of us, he was a committed friend. Few, if any, will be able to replicate his legacy of serving the St. Louis community. Who else could have brought together so many people, rich, poor, black, white, Democrat, Republican? It didn't matter because there was one goal, and that was to serve the community. Thank you. So to Lakeisha, Ashley, Taylor, Alexandria, Sydney, and Jalen, your dad loved you very, very much, and he was so proud of you all. I just want to say, rest easy, my friend. My brother, we got you. Job well done. Thank you.
My name is Willie Sonny Metcalf. This is difficult for me, but DJ rescued this community. He rescued thousands of kids. I was managing a community center and it was closing down, and I put in a call to DJ, said, DJ, we have a place that's closing down and I need somebody to help me. DJ told me, I don't know if I could do that. 3 months later, he called me back and said, Sonny, I got the building, let's go to work. For 12 years, Me and DJ have been attached to the hip. 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 3 o'clock in the morning, no matter what happened, DJ would call me or I would call him. DJ, if you ever talk to DJ and said, DJ, I want to use the center for whatever reason, what would he tell you? Call Sonny. You would call me and I would help you plan your event. 2 weeks later, we do the event, and DJ said, what's going on at the center tonight? Well, the birthday party. I don't know nothing about it. I said, okay. So, but he would come and he would enjoy himself. But again, that was DJ. That was DJ. DJ literally saved my life. He literally saved my life. I was very ill one day at the center on a Sunday afternoon preparing for Christmas. And he said, I'm going to take you to the hospital. I said, well, I'll be all right tomorrow. No, I'm taking you to the hospital. Where you want to go? Barnes? Where you want to go? I said, VA. He said, oh, no, I'm not taking you there. They're going to kill you. And I said, no, DJ. I said, VA has been good to me. He took me to VA, and those doctors told me that if I had not come to VA that night, then I probably would have been brought the next day in a coma because my blood sugar is spiked over 850. And DJ brought me down to earth. I leave these words with the family and with his friends, the word that DJ always, almost every time he and I parted. My mom passed away 6 months ago. And before her passing, DJ would always tell me, Sonny, go home and kiss your mom for me. When I heard of DJ's passing, I stood up in my house and I said, DJ, when you see my mom, kiss her and tell her I love her.
My name is Johnny Granderson, and my path intertwined with DJs over 22 years ago. I used to drop my son off and a friend of his at Big Mike's Barbershop. And my son came back and said, Daddy, I got somebody you need to meet. I said, okay. I said, what's his name? He said, Demetrious Johnson, everybody call him DJ. So it took about a month or two. We was at a Vashon game, and he said, Daddy, there go Mr. DJ. And I said, oh, you gonna introduce us? He's like, yeah. So went up, introduced us, and me and DJ been brothers ever since. And I would like to say this. If it wasn't for my son, Jazz, I would have never met DJ. Me and DJ have cried together, we have laughed together, and we have argued also. And when I got transferred out of St. Louis, I told him I had to leave. He's like, oh man, I'm gonna miss you, Solo, I'm gonna miss you. I said, yeah, I'm gonna miss you too. So just so happened my job was transferring me back. At the same time I was going through some tragedy. And, you know, DJ always was trying to pull me out the house. Solo, let's go this, let's go this. I wasn't in the mood, I wasn't in the space. And one day he said, I'm picking you up, we're gonna go up to Chevy's. And we had lunch, and he said, I want you to do the Sunday show with me. I said, no, I gotta talk to my agent. And I said, man, I regret saying that every day I wake up. But anyway, the difference between DJ and saying I want and I need, he give you a way out when he said I want you to. When he said I need you, you got to do it, no matter what it is. And that's what I understood with him. And I'd like to give my condolences to the family, to Pat, her kids, his siblings, and Jalen, Sydney, all of you guys. I love y'all. And big fella, I see you on the other side.
Good afternoon. My name is Kevin Pulley. DJ called me Kevy Kev, or Kevy. Wow. It is a blessing, and again, I can't begin to thank Pat and the family again for the opportunity to just be here. I guess DJ and I, we go back almost 39 years now. I was a student at Mizzou, pledging our fraternity Alpha Phi Alpha, and okay, they're here. And the first time I met DJ was about 1984. I think he had just finished, was playing in the NFL, and the pledges were called Sphinxmen, if I can just get it out here. DJ took my little Sphinx head that we had as pledge. He took it and just threw it in his car and said, "I'll see you, I'm going to Detroit, I'm driving back." And I guess the first thing that got me, I said, wow, he's in the NFL, he's coming up here to see me and these guys. But that's where it kind of started from us. Because after DJ had a great career in the NFL, I had started working on radio here in St. Louis. And DJ came by and said, "Hey, I like to, I'm doing a lot of things. I'd like you, Kevy, to come and help me and work with me." And our friendship just built from there. So for the next 35 plus years, I could say I was there with DJ when he did his first radio show, The Sports Wave. And we would do that on Sunday nights. And of course, it just ascended on to other great things. And I watched DJ just continue to build the foundation and do all the wonderful, great services that we've heard everybody talk about today. And so it was just a great friendship. He was always on me, though. He called me his little brother. Like, I know he has a lot of little brothers, little sisters, everybody, but he was always on me to be excellent at whatever you did. Anything you did, give it 110%. That was DJ. You couldn't go out there and half step with anything. You had to give it your best, and I think that's where the saying, big time players make big time plays in big time games. And so I learned so much from him about family, about dedication, loyalty. And I've often always said to my wife, I would always say, it's one thing about DJ. I believe DJ, because you hear how our community is divided, and I think this says that we're unified. But I said, DJ is the one person that could bring our entire community together, whether it's race, economics, it didn't matter. He was that person that had, and I think all of us being here today is evidence of that. He had the ability to bring this community together. And it's been said, and so well said, that it's up to us to help the family, all the family, to continue his legacy. What a legacy. I'm so happy that, again, I was blessed, the family. Pat allowed me to talk to DJ a couple of days before he passed, and I just remember the words he said to me. He said, "Hey, Kevy, hey, man, I'm still here, man. That means the Lord has some work for me. He ain't done with me. I still got some work to do." And, that work continues from us now. He set the legacy. He called the play, and as DJ would say, it's time for us to run the offense, And I thank you for sharing him with all of us, all these years, for sharing him, because I know with all the service and all the work that DJ did, you had to give him to us, and I'm so thankful for that, and I appreciate it. Appreciate his friendship. He, like I said, he let me be with everybody, with these guys and the events. He always let me there. I got to DJ the first dance party and all, with the kids, and he just, I'm gonna miss him dearly, but I'll just leave this. I know he's at home with his mom, as she set the foundation, and it's up to us to continue it, what DJ did. Thank you all, and again, God bless you. Thank you for allowing me to even speak the word. Thank you.
My name is JC. I want to be honest today, and I want to be honest with his family and to his kids. I'm not okay. He was my best friend. He was my brother. And I miss him. It says to much is given, much is expected. My friend gave a lot. I look around this room, and someone said earlier, I'm so surprised. I'm not surprised. Stand on your feet and give my brother the respect and honor that he deserves. Demetrious Johnson, AKA the big fella, AKA DJ, AKA a giant in this community. I want to say to his family, that he loved you. I knew about every birthday. I knew about every graduation. Jalen, man, your daddy loved you, man. You don't ever have to worry about it. You carry him in your spirit. He's with you, man. He's with you. And we got you. You got a lot of uncles in this room, brother. You got a lot of uncles. He loved his daughters. He loved his daughters. He would call and complain. He would, I'm telling you. And to be honest, some of the people in the room, he had a problem with you, but you wouldn't know it. I co-hosted a radio show with DJ. And I would say some mornings when we would come on Sundays, I would say, well, DJ, who are we mad at today? And then he would tell me who that person was. And 2 weeks later, he would call me and say, what you doing? And it would always be in the middle of the night. And I would say, I'm up, but I really was asleep. And he would say he met with whomever. And I would say, DJ, I thought you said we were supposed to be mad at that person. There were many layers to DJ. And I just want to thank the entire foundation. I want to thank everybody that gave blood, sweat, and tears for Demetrious Johnson. We love DJ, guys. We loved him, man. We loved him. I will never, ever forget me and him, or he and I attended a funeral together. And he said, you know what, JC? You can tell how a person lives their life by the people that come out to honor them. And today, we can see how much he was honored. And lastly, before I take my seat, we would talk about family and we would talk about God. Don't you fool yourself. Demetrious Johnson was a God-fearing man. Too much is given, much is required. And I'll just leave with this because DJ is with the Lord right now, so we don't have to, we're not preaching to DJ. We're coping ourselves, and we're not mourning because we don't have any hope. We're mourning because we loved him. And so finally, I would just say this. We're going to keep his spirit alive. Through that foundation, we're going to work our tails off and keep his spirit alive. Big time players and big time games, and my friend Demetrious Johnson, you're a big time player.
Good afternoon. My name is Boogie D. I used to be the operations manager at Hot 104.1 and 95.5 and worked with DJ for 10 plus years. I want to talk about his radio family because we've been talking about family this entire day. If you did not know, DJ has a lot of family in a lot of different areas and a lot of different places. But first, I want to just send my condolences to the family. I want to thank you for allowing me to come up here and say something about DJ's impact on radio. We heard a lot about he had a radio show. Well, if you listen to that show, you know DJ sometimes would say some things about some people. I'm the one that had to deal with the fallout. I'm the ones that would get the call. Did you hear what DJ said about this person? Did you hear what DJ said about this person? Then I would have to call DJ. See, DJ never said, I'll call you back when he saw my number. First thing he said was, Boogie D, what I do now? I said, well, DJ, we got to talk about yesterday's show. I'll be right up there, big fella. I got you back. And DJ would come into the office, and we would go into the general manager's office, and we would sit down and we say, DJ, why? It's a community fair, it's a show. And he'd say, first and foremost, and if you knew anything about DJ, DJ's very passionate about everything that he does. But if he spoke your name and you took offense to it, it's because there's something that you did that DJ didn't think you were doing right in the community. And DJ would say to myself and to the operation manager, he says, I'm never going to do anything to get you guys in trouble, but I'm going to speak the way I'm going to speak, and I'm going to do what I got to do because my word means a lot more to me than this radio show. See, you got to understand the man. When a person says that, they're not fearful of losing a radio job. They're not fearful of losing a radio show, because what DJ wanted to most be known for is when he spoke it, he meant it. If he was going to do it, it was going to get done. And he would tell us a lot of times, and a lot of people that I work with that know DJ and myself, DJ will let you know, y'all can come along for the ride, but I'm going to do it anyway. That's what he was all about. I met my wife because of Demetrious Johnson, and my wife has worked with DJ Jamie Doby for a very long time. And sometimes, please give her a round of applause, because this has been a very difficult holiday for us and for the family. But I just want everybody to understand family. DJ had many layers of that word family. And everybody's talking about how do we carry on. We have to carry on the legacy of his foundation. When I got my job in Kansas City, that's why I do radio now, DJ called me. First thing he said was, I can come take care of KC too. I said, DJ, slow your roll, big dog. I said, slow your roll, big dog. We got some people in KC that we gotta get them to your level. And I used to always tell DJ that. There's only two people I ever worked with in radio that had an impact, not just on the air, but in the community. Demetrious Johnson is one of them for St. Louis, and the other one was East Stephen College in Philadelphia. To me, they were almost very similar people. They meant everything they did. They were bringing together the community, the sports world, the political world, but everything was about their city. Everything was about taking care of their own. Everything they did in their life was to serve. That's the key word with Demetrious Johnson. He served. He served many different ways. He served many different people. But at the end of the day, he has a lot of family. And to his family and to his children, your dad was respected in a lot of different areas, and I respected him more than most. And anybody knows me that worked with Boogie D, it's hard for me to bow down sometimes. And even I had to bow down to Demetrious Johnson. So his radio family, we miss him, we love him, and that's going to be a hard show to fill. Whoever gets that show, good luck, and bring it. God bless you, Demetrious.
Demetrious Johnson was my baby brother. I used to help him with the organization. I used to help him with the summer camp. And every year I tell him, I'm quitting. I'm not coming back. And he'd say, well, I ain't gonna beg you, but you can come on back next year. I used to help him with the golf tournament. I used to help him with the turkey drive. I used to help him with the Christmas parties. I enjoyed working with him, but he would make me mad and I would make him mad. I remember after he had his incident when Pat called and told us, and the next day when he got better, I went up there to see him at the hospital. And I said, Demetrious, you all bandaged up. Where can I kiss you? I said, I guess I have to kiss your hand. He said, yeah, kiss my hand. I said, okay, I'm going to kiss your hand. All I can say is, I love my baby brother. I'm going to miss him. But Mama, you got your baby boy with you. And you're going to say to him, job well done.
Right now, we want to bring up Demetrious, his family, his bride, Pat. Come on up.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Alex, DJ's daughter. So me even being able to stand up here is only the strength of the Lord and Jesus. If anyone knows how close I was to my father, it's unbelievable the peace that God has given to me, knowing that he's okay. We had an entire week with him from that initial phone call that my mom placed to the emergency services on December 16th. My father passed on December 24th on Christmas Eve. That entire time, he was surrounded by love. It was only a miracle that he was even alive to December 17th. So Jesus literally brought him back to allow him to serve his own soul. And that was based off of his faith, everything that his mother instilled in him, everything he instilled in us to keep him going, and then also having my mother and his siblings and his other children and loved ones around as well. So just know that we all really support you all coming out here, and he would really support it and be really appreciative of it too. We would tell him people that would come visit him at the hospital, and he would just act so shocked, like he didn't know that people were so excited. So, you know, it was a hard time, but he needed to see that other people could take care of him and that he could just sit back and trust God. And I do want to note that his last conversation with us shortly before he passed, I was able to record it. I've been praying a lot on how to get that message out there. But I do want to make it clear two really important facts that he instilled in us in that message. And I know it's not just for the ones that were around him at that time, which was us three, as well as my mother, Pat. The first message is the order of how we need to be moving forward in life. God first, family second, education third, and family fourth, and relationships fourth. He also mentioned, within 5 minutes before he passed, is that moving forward, it is not about him and it's not about us anymore. It is about the grace and the glory of God. So thank you all again for coming out here and being there for him, because he would so appreciate it, and just letting you know he was at peace, and he was at one of the hardest times in his life where, you know, we're wiping his face and everything, but the only thing he can do is say, thank you, I appreciate you, I love you. That's all he was doing in those moments. So thank you all.
Good afternoon. I'm DJ's daughter, Ashley. And first of all, I just want to thank every single person who came out today and those who maybe couldn't make it today, but shared so much love and support. Over the past couple of weeks, we've just gotten an outpouring of just love and care. And we are just so, so grateful for everyone here, every phone call, every email, every text, every hospital visit. You know, my family and I just want to say thank you so much, and we love you. The same way my dad would always tell everyone that he loves them. We love you, and thank you for being there for us. And we just wanted to take a moment today to do a special thank you to a few folks who have really stepped in over the last couple weeks and have just been incredible, and we couldn't do this without them. We couldn't do this event today. We couldn't do so many things without them, and just have been there every step of the way. And so, like, what we've learned from our dad is that he never hesitated to tell people how much he cared and how grateful he was to, you know, his final days. Even in the hospital, he made a point to tell every person who did any little thing, if it was just bring him water, if it was just to help him with his pillow and his bed, he just outpoured how grateful and thankful and that he loved them. So we wanted to take a moment and to tell a few people who have been there for us day and night, every day. You know, when we were at a point where we just didn't know how we would move forward, these people were there. So we want to take a moment and tell them how much we love them and how grateful we are for them. So I'm going to give it to my sister, Taylor.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Taylor. We'll start off with Miss Adrienne Bracy. Actually, I'll just go ahead and call a few people up. Can we have Coach D up? Carlos, I see you. Come on over here. Jamie, Dan, Reed, Frank, and Randy. So, like my sister Ashley was saying, these individuals who are coming to the stage have been with our family day and night around the clock. They have been devoted to developing this event, supporting us. It has been astounding the level of support and care that they've shown to myself and my family and to his friends. So the first person I want to recognize is Miss Adrienne Bracy. All right. My dad has a saying, as a few of y'all have heard today, it's big time players make big time plays in big time games, and these last few weeks was a big time game for us. To give you some context, my dad basically lived in sports references. So when we were at the hospital, we were his biggest cheerleaders. We had posters saying, "You got this, champ," because that's what he would always tell us. We would give him stickers like "excellent work, good work," just to encourage him, to show him that we are his cheerleaders, that we had his back. And I want to show that these people up here had his back. So, okay. Adrienne, thank you so much. All right. So we have our big time players. Frank, this is for you. My sister. So we'll continue to pass these out. So this is for Coach G. Check the names. Carlos, you're a big time player. Coach D. And, oh, Mike Cullen. If Mike is here, okay. All right, the next one, and this is because the level of work that they had to provide to us, their expertise, their generosity, their time has just been incredible. So I'll start with Jamie. The award says, it's the Big Time Player Award, of course, and it says, in recognition to your exceptional dedication and support to honoring my dad's legacy, thank you for your expertise, generosity, and friendship. You're a big time player. And this is from the Johnson family. The next one will be for Reed Malloy. Reed, thank you so much for your expertise. Reed has been incredible with all of the arrangements for today. He wanted to do this in style, and you did an excellent job, Bree. So thank you so much.
I would say this to the ladies. When you have a great family to work with, it's easy to put this together. So thank you for being there for DJ. And his last words to like everybody. Love you. So thank you, buddy.
And the final one is to Dan Weinster. Dan, you've been amazing.
I have to say, Dan actually was the one who had the idea to do this at the Shavits. And we were like, Dan, that seems crazy. And he was like, no, we're going to make it happen. We're going to make it happen. And he did. And we thank you so much. Thank you, Dan. Thank you.
All right. Coach D, did you get yours? Okay. Well, with that, I do look forward to hearing from the community. Thank you to all those who have come, our elected officials, to Mizzou Athletics. When my dad was in the hospital, in the middle of the night, he was chanting Mizzou chants. One of it, Rock Chalk Jayhawk, FKU, was the one we heard the most, okay? So I just want to do a big M-I-Z for my dad because he loved Mizzou so, so much. So if you could join me, M-I-Z. Let's go. All right, perfect. Thank you so much.
Ladies, thank you so much. And I know DJ was so proud of you three, and I know that your mom is so proud. And DJ was also so looking forward to his first grandchild. Ashley is due in February, I'm sorry. October would be a long time away. So, but he was so looking forward to being a grandfather and to the birth of his grandchild.
Yeah, one of the things that was so endearing is a lasting memory of my dad is that when we were in the hospital, he would just kind of hold my stomach and he would just smile. And then when nurses would come in, he would say, I got to get out of here because I got to go to California and see my grandchild. So that was, that was his motivation, was to, get better and spend time with his grandchild. So, but we're looking forward to continuing just to feel him in the spirit, and we know he's with us every day, so we love him. Thank you, everyone.
So the Johnson family wanted to allow people to come up here for just 2 minutes apiece. 1 minute now? All right. Well, we have quite a few distinguished people out here, and we're going to have you come on up here one by one and give us your thoughts on Demetrious. Alvin Miller, why don't you lead us off right now? This is maybe the greatest high school athlete we've ever had in our town. Parade National Player of the Year, the pride of Kirkwood, and a very close friend of Demetrious.
I met Demetrious over 40-something years ago, and we've been friends ever since. I want to say to the families, it says in Proverbs 3:5, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not to thy own understanding. My wife Ramona and I give our love and condolences to Pat and the family. Soul Santa, big fella. Let me say this city will never be the same. Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games. You taught us all in life, it's all about giving. You didn't just talk, but did it while you were living. I chose a different route, but you said we'll still be boys. You always moved your way throughout all the noise. You had gifts, candy, and turkeys flying in the air, showing the community that Soul Santa will always care. We've had a nice ride, it was hella. Now you're riding in the arms of the other big fella. You loved this city, and the city loved you back. You proudly wore the gold and black. For the city, you did all that one could do. MIC! God bless.
Good afternoon. Will all the members of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated please stand? My name is Carolyn Wilson, and I am the president of the Omicron Eta Omega chapter. And while I did not have an opportunity to meet Demetrious personally, I admired him from afar, coming from the same neighborhood, the Doris Webby Projects. And because I didn't meet him personally, I do know him through his wonderful wife, Pat, and his wonderful daughters. And we are here to share our love, our care, and our concern with you on today, Pat. And I just want to quickly share these words in the few seconds that I have left. With a heartfelt sympathy, the women of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Omicron Eta Omega chapter want to share our deepest condolences, love, and prayers with you in the passing of your husband and father, Demetrious Johnson. To our sisters, Pat, Taylor, and Alexandria, to Ashley, and to the entire family, we will continue to fervently pray that God grants you the strength to get through this moment while supplying comfort and peace, surpassing all human understanding as you embrace the unforeseen new journey. May your hearts find solace remembering Demetrious's light, his laughter, and the spirit of his big heart that loves so many. Sisterly and prayerfully submitted, the members of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Omicron Eta Omega chapter. God bless you today, family.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dell Taylor. I'm Missouri State Rep-elect. But tonight I'm coming to you as Demetrious' fraternity brother, a man of Alpha Phi Alpha. So I'll ask the brothers if you'll quick stand for me, and I'll say that I met Demetrious 38 years ago. I met the brother, but you don't know a brother until you serve with that brother, until you work with that brother, until you break bread with that brother. For me, that opportunity came as I started to volunteer and help with different events at the foundation. I'll be quick, but one event in particular, we were working at the foundation, putting toys together for the kids. It was a long day. We had packaged about 1,000 toys or so, 100 bags for kids or so, and it was a long day. 4 hours later, we had called it quits. All of us except for Demetrious. Later that evening, I got a call from the brother. Hey, Brother Dale, can you go out with me tomorrow? I think we're a little short on toys for the kids. So we went out. We gathered more toys, and that's one example of probably the highest goal in our fraternity, manly deeds. Manly deeds. Number one, a manly deed is a task that you cannot accomplish by yourself. You have to ask other people for help. A man never quits, and he does not take excuses. You inspire others, you recruit others, and you get the help that you need to accomplish that task. So today we are honoring that brother, Brother Demetrious Johnson, and I'm going to challenge everyone here to take a close look at what one man was able to accomplish by inspiring, by leading others, by gathering them and bringing them forward. So I'm going to ask all of us to rise to this occasion, take on the challenge, volunteer, help. When you see some need, help. If you need help, ask for help. But number one, help. Help others to achieve their dreams, help others to rise, and like DJ, through our service, we will transcend all.
Pat, my dear friend, sorority sister, and mother of 3 beautiful daughters, 2 of whom are also my sorority sisters. My family, your extended family, the Young family wants you to know that we share in your loss. Pat, you know I've been knowing you and DJ for over 40 years. That's more than half of my life. And you know, our kids grew up together. There were birthday parties, sleepovers, all kind of great things that we did together. You know, and DJ and you both always called my parents mom and dad. And that was one of the greatest joy that they had, to hear DJ, you refer to him as mom and dad. Not only was my brother, DJ's fraternity brother, he was the first president of the Demetrious Johnson Charitable Foundation. And because of that, we all had to volunteer. I did my time volunteering, but I think your best volunteers during those early days were my parents. They would not miss an event. They were there faithfully. And those are those special moments that we're going to continue to cherish. There's a new year ahead of us, and with the support of your immediate village and this whole St. Louis community, we're all going to get through this together. We're going to make sure the DJ's legacy lives on. Thanks, and I love you.
Good afternoon. My condolences to the entire Johnson family. I met Demetrious in September of 2015, and he immediately took me under his wing, for which I'm forever grateful. He was my big brother, mentor, confidant, and he was my OG. I love DJ. And one of the things I loved most about him was his humility. And if you knew DJ, then you knew anyone could get checked. I mention humility because it's one of those things that's absolutely free. He held me accountable, and I appreciated that. His energy was nothing short of contagious. DJ didn't care about your rank or station in life. He truly cared about your heart. I was on the competing station at iHeartRadio, and he was at Radio 1 at the time, and he still took me under his wing. You couldn't convince me that he would ever have a problem with his heart, because he could carry a full conversation in the morning, calling me, huffing and puffing, and still going. When that tombstone is written, I was always amazed growing up about how much space the dates take up. But it's that tiny dash in the middle that means so much. He left such an incredible blueprint. His presence was a present. I just want to say, rest well, big fella. I love you always. Thank y'all.
Good afternoon. I am Nishi Parkinson, founder and CEO of Rise Impact here in St. Louis. A genuine leader is not a searcher for consensus, but a molder of consensus. Martin Luther King reminds us of the power we have as leaders to listen deeply and bring people together in disclosure. Dr. Martin Luther King. I had the opportunity to meet DJ in 1997. My aunt was the first woman living with HIV in St. Louis in 1994 of her passing. I started my career at the St. Louis People's Health Center in the inner city of St. Louis. He provided excellence and leadership to me. I want to say to his family, his support, his dedication, his love come to mind. I remember the call to action that I wrote for a story back in November of 2020, A Mother's Love Left Behind, Baby Ja'Cory. The tale was about a tragic death of a mother who was taken from her son going to his first well baby's exam. She was killed by gunless crossfire of senseless gun violence as she approached the clinic. I want to say to you all today, his legacy, his tenacity came real clear when I was writing this condolence today. I want to pay homage also to Desi Des Lyon for the passionate commitment of picking up that phone that day to reach to say that we will do what we need to do for the Demetrious Johnson Foundation wholeheartedly. I want to say thank you for sharing your dad with us. Ashley, Taylor, Alexander, Lakeisha, Sydney, Jalen, and the entire radio audience and Demetrious Johnson Foundation. To the Johnson family, we wish you peace, comfort, courage as you face the days ahead. Loving memories of your dad and the commitment that he carried through the community. I clearly am dedicated to accept the charge under Rise Impact to continue to lead with the tenacity of community involvement. Thank you so much.
I am grateful for the things that he has done, and I'm grateful for the victories he has won. Muhammad Ali said, service to others is the rent you pay for your room here on earth. And we can all agree that Demetrious was never negligent in his responsibilities. God bless.
Assalamu alaikum. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah and Muhammad is his messenger. On behalf, I want to give condolence on behalf of the whole entire Muslim community. Me and DJ never made an issue about me being Muslim, him being Christian. We work together, especially with your daughter with 99 bottles on the wall. That was one of the famous ones we had. But anyway, on behalf of the Coalition of Muslim Leaders, the Nation of Islam, on behalf of Masjid al-Tawheed, on behalf of Masjid Mu'minun, Muslims all around the world are sending their condolences. And I want the brothers are standing with me because I want you to see the police department was here in droves. Like they'd never been. I want to give you a big round of applause. I want them to get it. I don't know what Colonel Ronnie Robinson was, but they put no, y'all can do better than that. When it's a problem, we say it's a problem. I'm not against police, I'm against bad police. But I want to, on behalf of the Muslim community and Brother Juma Muhammad and the NAACP in St. Louis County, we're here to let you know we love you, we respect you, and anything we can do, we'll continue to do that with you. Assalamu alaikum.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming and being a part of this today to celebrate the life of somebody who is irreplaceable. But we have to all band together. And Frank, I know that you share my feelings. On behalf of us, we thank the family for allowing us to be a part of this in remembering one of the greatest St. Louisans ever. Frank, if you want to wrap things up.
Honored to be a part of it, and remember, we got to keep the foundation going. Have a great day.